walk these streets for hours with the midnight on my back. Every step was carrying something I could never pack. There were dreams I left behind me. There were words I never said. There were people I still loved long after they had left. The city kept on breathing while I learned to breathe alone. Every empty street reminded me that nowhere stays your home. But somewhere underneath the sorrow, underneath the fading blue, there was still a little heartbeat telling me to make it through. Until the morning comes, I'll keep walking through the night. Until the morning comes, I'll keep searching for the light. I may carry some old scars, I may carry what I've lost, but I'll keep moving forward, no matter what it costs. Until the morning comes, I won't let this darkness win. I'll keep one small flame burning till the sunlight finds my skin. There's a photograph beside me, faded underneath the light. Two people smiling at a moment when the world still felt right. I don't hate you for the leaving, I don't blame you anymore. Some hearts become a lesson when they walk outside the door. I spent years trying to understand why love can disappear. Now I know that letting go can be another form of courage. The saxophone is calling from somewhere down the street. Its voice is low and broken, but somehow still sounds sweet. One long note, a slow answer from the guitar. Another breath. The sax begins to rise, not with anger, not with sorrow, but with acceptance. Rain is falling on the rooftops, washing dust from yesterday. And the streetlights look like candles slowly burning themselves away. I've been afraid of empty mornings, afraid of starting something new, afraid that moving forward meant forgetting all of you. But memories don't disappear just because we learn to heal. You can keep the love inside you without pretending it was still. So I carry what was beautiful and release what made me weak. There's a different kind of freedom when you finally stop the chase. Until the morning comes, I keep walking through the night. Until the morning comes, I The old blues guitar remembers every place my heart has been, every lonely room I've waited in, every night I couldn't sleep. The bass is barely breathing now, the drums have disappeared, and the saxophone is telling me there's nothing left to fear. I hear the first bird somewhere far beyond the city lights, and the darkness isn't endless, it was only passing through the night. Maybe tomorrow won't be perfect, maybe some pain will remain, but I've learned that broken hearts can still learn to love again. If you ever find yourself in a room where nobody hears, if the night becomes too heavy and you're drowning in your fears, remember, every night has an ending, every storm loses its rain, every lonely road eventually finds a way home again. So don't give up tonight, keep breathing, keep moving, the morning is closer than you think. Now the sky is turning silver, the black is turning gray, the last star above the rooftops is slowly fading away. The city starts awakening, windows glowing one by one, and I realized the darkness didn't take away my sun. I pick up my old guitar, feel the wood beneath my hand, play one simple blues progression like a man who finally understands. I don't need another answer, I don't need to know why. Sometimes healing isn't knowing, sometimes healing. When the blues turn black, the world fades to gray, the city lights are dying, the night has lost its way. I'm standing at the edge now, where the shadows start to fall. When the blues turn black, I'm answering the call. The saxophone starts breathing, a sound so low and deep, it carries all the darkness, the secrets that I keep. The heaven starts to moan now, a preacher in the void. When the blues turn black, I'm feeling so destroyed. When the blues turn black, the truth comes out to play. The music's playing something that takes my breath away. Not taken like a lover, taken like the grave. When the blues turn black, I'm trying to be brave. She used to be my sunlight, color in the gray. She'd chase away the shadows, make the darkness stay away. Now the sunlight's gone forever, and the black is all I see. When the blues turn black, I'm drowning in the sea. The Hammond swells like thunder, a sound that shakes the floor. The guitar bends a whisper, a note I can't ignore. The vibraphone shimmers, a ghost in the room. When the blues turn black, I'm facing my own doom. When the blues turn black, the midnight's cold and dead. I'm holding on to nothing but the words I never said. The words are of the loving, the words are of the lost. When the blues turn black, I'm counting up the cost. The noir jazz feeling, it don't rush, it don't cry. It just sits there like the blackness, with a patient, steady eye, watching all the lovers and the ones who died alone. When the blues turn black, the only truth I've known. The truth is of the void now, the truth is of the night, the truth of every moment that's never meant to see the light, but stays inside the blackness, inside the endless space. When the blues turn black, I'm losing my own grace. Oh, when the blues turn black, the night is almost done. The blackness is eternal, but the memory's just begun. The memory of her laughter, the memory of her face. When the blues turn black, I'm finding my own space. The saxophone is weeping, a melody of night. It's been playing since the void began, and it's got a way to fight. But every note is heavy, every note is true. When the blues turn black, I'm playing it for you. The Hammond holds a chord, a sound that never ends. It speaks of all the heartache and the love that couldn't mend. The guitar trembles softly, a ghost upon the string. When the blues turn black, I'm learning how to sing. The vibraphone shimmers like stars in the abyss, a fragile broken beauty in the darkness of the kiss. The kiss that was the ending, the kiss that was the start. When the blues turn black, I'm falling apart. The blackness is a blanket, a comfort and a curse. It holds me like a lover, it couldn't be much worse. But worse is all I know now, the black is all I feel when the blues turn black. There's a neon sign above me, buzzing like an old regret, and a lonely saxophone is playing songs I can't forget. The guitar bends like a wounded voice, crying underneath the moon. Every note keeps asking me why you had to leave so soon. I remember your blue eyes in the reflection of the glass. We were standing in the rain once, thinking nothing ever lasts. You said, don't be afraid, love, we'll find our way somehow. But those words became a memory, and I'm standing here alone now. Neon tears are falling down the window, down my face. Every blue light in the city takes me back to yesterday. Neon tears are falling, and the night won't let me sleep. Every guitar bend is telling me how much love can cut so deep. Let the saxophone keep crying, let the old blues carry me through these empty midnight streets where you used to walk with me. There's a bar across the corner where the neon turns the smoke to gold. A tired man behind the counter looks like a story I've been told. He doesn't ask me what I'm drinking, he just pours it and walks away. Some men carry broken bottles, some carry words they couldn't say. The bass is low beneath me, like a heartbeat underground, while the guitar keeps bending slowly, searching for a different sound. But every road inside this city seems to lead me back to you, and every shadow in the alley looks like something we once knew. disappear in blue. And I swear I hear your footsteps every time the wind comes through. I remember Sunday mornings, your coffee sitting next to mine, the way you left it nothing, like we had all the time. Now the chair across the table only holds the fading light, and I talk to empty spaces when the city sleeps at night. Maybe love was never promised, maybe forever was a lie, but I know I gave you everything before I watched you say goodbye. Neon tears are falling, but they're not falling for you. They're falling for the younger me, who believed our love was true. Neon tears are fading as the morning starts to rise, and the guitar stops its crying underneath the changing skies. Let the saxophone breathe softly, let the bass line fade away, let the last guitar bend remind me I survived another day. There's a drawer that doesn't open much anymore, filled with pages folded neat and never sealed. I wrote them in the quiet hours when the house was still, when the moon was the only one who saw me bleed. Every line began with dear and ended with a sigh. Every sentence tried to say the things I couldn't speak. Tender guitar strings hum like a voice that's almost gone, and the saxophone just holds the space where my courage used to be. Letters I'll never send, still sitting in the dark, full of all the truth I swallowed and the love I left unmarked. Long saxophone is breathing what my pen could never say. Letters I never sent, still waiting anyway. I wrote about the morning you first walked into the room, how the light changed color when you looked my way. I wrote about the fights we had that never really ended, and the nights I held your pillow like it still knew your name. I wrote apologies for silence too deep. I wrote promises I never had the strength to keep. Guitar soft and careful, like it's afraid to wake the past. Saxophone stretches out long and slow and doesn't ask. Letters I never sent, still sitting in the dark, full of all the truth I swallowed and the love I left unmarked. Long saxophone is breathing what my pen could never say. Letters I never sent, still waiting anyway. Some were written on hotel paper in cities I don't name. Some were scratched on napkins when the whiskey made me brave. One was finished at a kitchen table while the coffee went cold. One was started on a birthday and abandoned halfway through. I kept telling myself tomorrow I would finally put them in the mail, but tomorrow always came with heavier hands and quieter fear. Now the ink is faded slightly and the paper's soft with time, and the only one who ever read them was the night itself. What would you have answered if the postman knocked that day? Would you have opened every page or turned and walked away? Would the words have been enough to bridge the years between, or would they only prove how late I always seem? Saxophone keeps asking, soft and low and true, and the guitar just listens the way I never did for you. I take one letter out tonight and hold it to the light. The handwriting looks younger than the man I am today. I almost reach for an envelope, almost search for a stamp, but my hand falls open empty and the moment slips away. Some things are meant to stay unfinished, some truths too heavy still. Some letters only matter because they were never sent. Guitar plays one last gentle line that feels like letting go. Saxophone holds the final note and lets it slowly go. And letters I never sent, still sitting in the dark, full of all the truth I swallowed and the love I left unmarked. Long saxophone is breathing what my pen could never say. Letters I never sent, still waiting anyway. There's a drawer that doesn't open much anymore, filled with pages folded neat and never sealed. I wrote them in the quiet hours when the house was still, when the moon was the only one who saw me bleed. Every line began with dear and ended with a sigh. Every sentence tried to say the things I couldn't speak. Tender guitar strings hum like a voice that's almost gone, and the saxophone just letters I never sent, still sitting in the dark. The city's gone quiet, just the wind and the rain. Empty sidewalk shining under the tired yellow glow. I push the heavy door, and the hinge gives a soft complaint. Inside the air is thick with old stories and smoke. Bartender nods like he's seen this face 1,000 times. Heavy bass is thumping low like a heartbeat that won't quit. Brush drums keep time with the slow fall of autumn leaves, and the sax sounds tired, but it still knows how to sing. The last bar is still open when the whole world shut its eyes. Heavy bass keep breathing underneath these weary skies. Tired sax is moaning like it carried too much weight. The last bar's still open, and it's 2 hours past too late. I take the corner stool where the light don't quite reach. Order something dark that burns a little going down. There's a couple in the back who already said goodbye, and the old man by the jukebox just staring at the ground. I used to come here laughing with someone on my arm. Now I come here quiet just to keep the night from winning. The bass is deep and steady, like it's holding up the floor. Sax is soft and soulful, still fighting, still beginning. Though the last bar's still open when the whole world shut its eyes. Heavy bass keep breathing underneath these weary skies. Is moaning like it carried too much weight. The last bar's still open, and it's 2 hours past too late. Outside the leaves are falling in slow and golden waves. They scrape across the window like they're trying to come in. I think about the years that slipped between my hands, all the doors I closed and the ones that closed on me. Bartender pours another without asking what I need. He knows the kind of silence that only comes this late. Rush drums are soft as footsteps on an empty street, and the sax keeps talking, low and honest, never fake. When the bright lights fade away, a warm room, a low light, and a song that understands still put down their hands. Sax is breathing slower now, like it's running out of air, but it holds the note a little longer, just because it cares. I finish what's in front of me and leave a little extra cash. Stand up careful so the stool don't make a sound. The door feels heavier when you're walking out alone. Cold air hits my face and the leaves keep tumbling down. I look back once through the glass at that single yellow light, still glowing soft and stubborn against the empty street. Heavy bass still pulsing somewhere deep behind the walls. Tired sax still singing for whoever needs to hear it. Oh, the last bar still open when the whole world shut its eyes. Heavy bass keep breathing underneath these weary skies. Tired sax is moaning like it carried too much weight. The last bar still open, yeah, the last bar still open, and it's holding on for me. The last bar still open. The city's gone quiet, just the wind and the rain. Empty sidewalk shining under a tired yellow glow. I push the heavy door and the hinge gives a soft complaint. Inside the air is thick with old stories and smoke. Bartender nods like he's seen this face 1,000 times. Heavy bass is thumping low.
Three minutes before midnight, the city holds its breath. Neon bleeding through the window like a warning in the dark. No cars on the corner, no footsteps on the street, just the sound of distant thunder and my heart beneath the beat. The clock is getting closer, every second feels like fire, and somewhere in the darkness there's a voice I can't forget. Low saxophone. One long note, then silence. There's a blue light in the window, there's a shadow by the door. I've been waiting here for hours,
but I don't know what for. The coffee turned to cold glass, the cigarette burned down, and the old guitar beside me still remembers your sound. I hear the elevator moving, I hear footsteps down the hall. Every sound becomes a question, every shadow seems too tall. 3 minutes before midnight, and the whole world disappears. All I have is this old blues and the weight of all these years. Tick, tick, the clock keeps moving. Tick, tick, my heart keeps choosing. One more memory, one more lie, one more reason not to say goodbye. 3 minutes before midnight, tell me, where did we go wrong? 3 minutes before midnight, and I'm still waiting for your call. The city holds its secrets, the rain hides every sign. 3 minutes before midnight, and your shadow still is mine. If tomorrow changes everything, let tonight remember this. 3 minutes before midnight was the moment before the kiss. The saxophone starts breathing, low and underneath the rain, like a man who lost his lover, but still whispers out a name. The guitar answers slowly, with a dirty broken tone. Every bend becomes a question, every chord says I'm alone. The bass begins to wander, like footsteps in the hall. And somewhere in the distance, I can hear the midnight call. The drummer barely touches the edge of the snare tonight, like he's afraid to wake the darkness, like he's waiting for the light. One soft kick, brush against the snare. The clock says 11:58. 1 minute closer. I remember what you told me on that cold December night. Sometimes love is just a doorway, sometimes leaving makes it right. I didn't understand you, I was too afraid to lose, so I held on to your memory like an old pair of blues. Now the rain is getting heavier, the windows shake with wind, and every darkened street below looks like where our story ends. But there's something in the silence, something waiting to be heard.
Remember this, 3 minutes before midnight was the moment before the kiss. Now the drums are getting closer, like a heartbeat in the street. Soft kick underneath the darkness, slow brushes, keeping time with me. The piano There's blue smoke in the alley, where the street lights barely shine. I can hear that old guitar crying, like it's telling me your story and mine. Rain is dripping from the fire escape, water running down the brick. There's a lonely man beneath the neon, trying to forget what time can't fix. I got your name inside my pocket, written on an old matchbook. Every time I reach to burn it, I get lost inside the way you looked. The city keeps on moving, but I'm standing where you left me, with a bottle getting colder and memories getting heavy. There's blue smoke in the alley, and your shadow in my mind. That dirty guitar keeps talking about the love we left behind. There's blue smoke in the alley, rolling underneath the moon. I hear your voice inside the darkness, but I know you won't come soon. So let the saxophone keep crying, let the old guitar complain. Some hearts don't hear with sunshine, they learn to dance inside the rain. I remember your old apartment, 3rd floor, broken window glass. We used to talk until the morning, never thinking it would pass. You said, baby, don't you worry, we'll find a better road someday. But the road got dark between us, and we lost our way. Now the train is somewhere distant, rolling through the midnight air. Every whistle sounds like goodbye, every empty street feels bare. There's a man playing 6 strings outside a bar that's closing down. His fingers bend the blues so slowly, like he's dragging tears across the town. Slow bend,
vibrato. Bass walks underneath. Low tenor sax answers from the alley. Blue smoke curls around the street sign like a ghost that doesn't know which direction it should travel, which old memory to let go. I can smell the rain and whiskey, hear the tires on the road, feel the weight of every promise, every burden that I hold. I ain't looking for forgiveness, I ain't asking you to stay. I just wish you left a letter telling me why you walked away. Because silence cuts much deeper than the sharpest words can do. And every empty night reminds me that I still remember you. There's blue smoke in the alley, and your shadow in my mind. That dirty guitar keeps talking about the love we left behind. There's blue smoke in the alley, rolling underneath the moon. I hear your voice inside the darkness, but I know you won't come soon. So let the saxophone keep crying, let the old guitar complain. Some hearts don't hear with sunshine, they learn to dance inside the rain. Midnight finds me at the corner where we used to meet at 2. There's no blue sign above me, and everything reminds me of you. The bartender knows my order, he don't ask me what went wrong, he just pours another whiskey and lets the blues play on. The piano in the window sounds like footsteps from the past, and the guitar keeps bending slowly, like it's asking why love couldn't last. I watch the smoke disappear into the cold Chicago sky, and I wonder if you remember the last time you looked into my eyes. There's a room at the end of the hallway where the old floorboards know my name. I left the light on by the window, but nothing ever looked the same. Your picture's still beside the bottle, your shadow's still across the wall. I hear the rain against the glass, like footsteps that will never call. I poured 2 glasses after midnight, one for me and one for you, but the second glass stayed waiting, like the promises we knew. And the clock keeps talking slowly, every second sounds the same. I've been sitting with your silence, trying not to say your name. This is a room with no goodbye. No final word, no last embrace. Just an empty chair beside me. And your memory in this place. This is a room with no goodbye. Where the lonely come to stay. Keep waiting for the door to open, but you already walked away. And if these walls could tell my story, they'd say I loved you until I cried. Now I'm drinking with the shadows, in a room with no goodbye. There's an old guitar in the corner with a broken string hanging low. Play the song you used to love, but I couldn't make the ending go. The bass is rolling like thunder underneath this tidal floor. And every note I bend tonight feels like knocking on your door. I remember rainy Sundays, coffee cooling in your hands. You said we'd leave this city someday. You said we'd make our own plans. But dreams can disappear like smoke when the morning finds the light. And sometimes love don't need a reason to disappear into the night. This is a room with no no final word, no last embrace. Just an empty chair beside me. And your memory in this place. This is a room with no goodbye, where the lonely come to stay. Keep waiting for the door to open, but you already walked away. And if these walls could tell my story, they'd say I loved you until I cried. Now I'm drinking with the shadows, in a room with no goodbye. Midnight paints the windows silver, streetlights shake across the rain. Every car that passes slowly makes me think you're back again. There's a coat you left behind me, hanging where you used to stand. Sometimes I reach out in the darkness just to feel your empty hand. I've learned the hardest kind of silence is the silence after love. When you've got 1,000 things to tell them, but they're somewhere far above. So I talk to this old piano like an old friend who understands, and the keys keep telling stories that I can't say with my own hands. Rain between the streetlights, falling soft and slow. Midnight on the pavement, nowhere left to go. The city wears a silver coat beneath a fading glow, and every empty sidewalk knows the things I never showed. A very slow saxophone begins to breathe, one lonely note drifting through the trees. It hangs above the rain and slowly disappears, like an old goodbye I've carried through the years. The spacious guitar waits between each phrase, leaving room for shadows, leaving room for rain. One gentle chord, then silence for a while, like your memory passing through a tired smile. The window of the corner bar is glowing warm and gold. Inside, another story waits to be told. But I'm outside beneath the midnight sky, watching passing headlights disappear and die. The saxophone returns with a deeper tone, a sound that makes the whole street feel alone. It doesn't hurry, doesn't need to say much. Sometimes sorrow needs nothing but a touch. The guitar answers from somewhere far behind, 3 slow chords hanging in the night. The spaces between them say more than words, like a heart remembering everything it heard. Rain between the streetlights, tears beneath the sky. Slow saxophone telling me the reasons why. Tell the truth. remember your footsteps on this very street, the sound of your laughter moving with the beat. We walk without a destination, two lost hearts pretending we had time. You wore that old coat against the cold, and I held your hand like I could hold the world. We talked about tomorrow like it couldn't disappear, never knowing tomorrow was already near. Now the same street carries only rain, and every puddle holds a piece of yesterday. I look into the water beneath the light and see two shadows from another life. The saxophone stretches across the night, a long emotional cry beneath the light. It rises slowly and falls like rain, touching every hidden place inside the pain. The guitar stays spacious, soft and wide, leaving empty places where the memories hide. No crowded notes, no need to rush, just one lonely chord and the sound of the rain. A distant train rolls somewhere downtown, its low vibration moving through the town. The saxophone answers from the corner of the night, then everything returns to silence and light. Rain between the street lights falling on my face, every lonely drop still remembers your embrace. Whoa, rain between the street lights, blue beneath the moon. The saxophone keeps calling, but you won't be coming soon. Let the guitar breathe slowly, let the night remain. Some memories don't disappear, they simply sound like rain. There's an empty chair inside the bar, beside a table underneath a fading star. I used to sit there next to you, watching the night become something new. Now the bartender turns the lights down low and lets the old blues move and flow. He knows that some people come for the drink, and some come because they need time to think. I don't need another glass tonight, I just need somewhere to sit beneath the light. The saxophone is enough to understand the things my heart still cannot command. The rain becomes heavier for a moment, then settles into a softer rhythm again, like the city itself is breathing slowly, trying to forget what happened in the rain. The guitar gives one warm response, then leaves the night completely open. The saxophone floats through the empty space, searching for a familiar face. I close my eyes and hear whiskey under neon, glowing amber bright. The city's sleeping deeply in the pale and fading light. I'm sitting at the bar now, where the shadows start to play. Whiskey under neon, I'm letting the moment stay. The piano starts to whisper, a melody so warm. It tells of all the lovers and the ones who've lost their form. The saxophone responds, a crying genocide, whiskey under neon. I'm watching time go by, whiskey under neon. The slow blues feel is right. The music's playing something that's gentle as the night. The piano holds the memory. The saxophone cries true, whiskey under neon. I'm drinking it for you. To sit beside me under this same glow. She'd hold her glass up to the light and watch the colors flow. Now the neon still is burning, but she's not by my side. Whiskey under neon, I'm letting the tears slide. The bartender knows my story. He's heard it all before. He pours without me asking, sets the bottle by the door. Not the door to leave through, the door to stay inside. Whiskey under neon, I'm letting the tears slide. Whiskey under neon, the midnight's getting deep. I'm holding on to something that I promised I would keep. Not a promise of forever, a promise of tonight. Whiskey under neon, holding on to life. The Smoky blues are different. They don't rush, they don't cry. They just sit there like the whiskey, with a patient, steady eye, watching all the lovers and the ones who drink alone. Whiskey under neon, the only truth I've known. The truth is of the midnight, the truth is of the glass, the truth of every moment that's never meant to last, but lasts inside the neon, inside the amber glow. Whiskey under neon, I'm letting the feeling flow. Whiskey under neon, the night is almost done. The neon slowly fading, but the memory's just begun. The memory of a laughter, the memory of a grace. Whiskey under neon, I'm finding my own pace. I'm finding my own pace. Oh, the piano plays a final chord, a sound so warm and deep. It speaks of all the healing and the love I couldn't keep.
of light. The whiskey's nearly empty, but the feeling's still so right. The piano holds the memory, the saxophone, the pain. Whiskey under neon, I'm feeling it again. The bar is almost empty, the bottles are all dry. The night is almost over under the neon sky, but the music keeps on playing, a soundtrack to the soul. Whiskey under neon, I'm finally feeling whole. The warmth of the piano, it wraps around my chest. The crying of the saxophone, it puts my heart to rest. The whiskey under neon, it glows like memory. Whiskey under neon, I'm finally set free. The morning light is coming, the neon's losing glow. The night is giving up now and I'm ready to let go. But the music will remember, the piano and the sax. Whiskey under neon, I'm getting back on track. The track is of the healing, the track is of the song, the track of understanding, the track of moving on. The whiskey and the neon, they'll always be my guide. Whiskey under neon, I'm ready to abide, yeah.
Midnight on State Street, rain on the ground, neon reflections throwing colors around. The city's breathing, but nobody speaks. I hear the blues hiding under the streets. A dirty guitar starts growling low, with a broken old rhythm that only blues know. Heavy bass rolling beneath the concrete, like a tired heart keeping time with the beat. Far down the block, a saxophone cries, a distant reply underneath midnight skies. It calls through the smoke, then fades out of sight, like somebody searching for love in the night. The traffic light changes from red into green, but the street still feels frozen between. A taxi rolls slowly past the corner bar, two lonely headlights disappearing afar. The guitar digs deeper, rough against the strings, playing for hearts that have lost everything. The bass keeps pounding steady and deep, while the saxophone answers from somewhere unseen. There's whiskey shining beneath the dim light, and tired old faces disappearing from sight. The bartender knows when the night gets this late. Some people come drinking, some people come to wait. Midnight on State Street, let the dirty guitar play. Heavy bass shaking all the sorrow away. Distant sax crying through the Chicago night, every lonely shadow underneath the street light. Midnight on State Street, where the blues streetlights seemed brighter and new. We had no money, but we had time. Two young hearts believing the world was ours to find. We stopped by the corner and listened a while. You looked at me with that unforgettable smile. A blues band was playing somewhere down the street, and the whole city moved underneath our feet. Now I walk that same road alone after dark, following memories that still leave a mark. The buildings are standing, the traffic still flows, but nobody knows where a broken heart goes. The guitar hits hard with a dirty old tone, like a man who's been fighting his battles alone. Heavy bass rolls like thunder below, making the pavement beneath me glow. Then far in the distance, the saxophone replies, long soulful notes underneath black skies. It doesn't come closer, it stays far away, like an old conversation we never could finish someday. The drums keep a slow and stubborn time, while the guitar bends another lonely line. The whole band sounds like the city tonight, rough around the edges, but still burning bright. Midnight on State Street, rain in my eyes, neon reflections beneath dark skies. Dirty guitar and a heavy bass sound, while the distant sax keeps calling around. Midnight on State Street, don't let me go. There's something about these old streets I know. Every broken dream, every heart left behind, leaves a little blues on the walls of the night. A woman stands smoking beneath the red light, watching the traffic disappear into night. A man walks alone with his hands in his coat, carrying words that he never once spoke. A train shakes the buildings somewhere downtown, then the silence comes slowly back around. The guitar answers with one heavy chord, like a question that never received a word. The saxophone calls from a distant bar, this lonely voice traveling farther than cars. I stop for a moment and listen alone, feeling that sound somewhere deep in my bones. The bass keeps rolling like a midnight train, dark and steady beneath the rain. The guitar scratches, bends and cries, while saxophone echoes rise toward the skies. This is Chicago after the crowds disappear, when every old memory suddenly feels near. The streets have a language the buildings can't speak, if you listen carefully when midnight gets deep. State Street remembers the lovers who've gone, the people who stayed and the ones who moved on. Every doorway has something to say, every streetlight has watched somebody walk away. Let the guitar tell the story, let the bass carry the pain, let the saxophone answer through the cold midnight rain. No need for words tonight. Deep in the night, when the streets turn blue, Chicago keeps breathing like it always knew. Lonely headlights slide across the rain. Every window hides somebody's pain. The tenor sax cries from somewhere downtown, while a slow guitar walks through the sleeping town. One long note rises into the sky, like a lonely soul asking the night why. The pavement shines beneath the neon glow, and tired footsteps move soft and slow. The city never sleeps, it only changes its face. Every midnight shadow searching for a place. The old train rolls above the street, steel wheels keeping a tight heartbeat. Its whistle disappears into the rain, then comes back like an old refrain. The guitar bends a dark, soulful line, while the saxophone answers one more time. Deep bass rolling underneath the sound, like a heartbeat shaking the underground. There's a man at the corner beneath the light, waiting for someone who won't come tonight. There's a woman staring through a cafe window, watching strangers come and watching strangers go. The city never sleeps, just dreams in blue. Every lonely street has a story or two. Tenor sax crying through the midnight rain. Slow Chicago guitar singing out the pain. The city never sleeps, the lights stay on, holding broken hearts until the night is gone. Every corner, every shadow, every street has a rhythm underneath its feet. Down on the south side, the neon burns, while an old blues guitar slowly turns. The notes come heavy, rough and warm, like an old heart weathering another storm. The saxophone answers from across the room, a soulful voice rising through the gloom. It stretches long over the smoky air, like a memory of someone who isn't there. A bartender wipes the counter clean, while midnight blues play somewhere unseen. Another glass waits beneath the light, another lonely soul walks into the night. The river reflects the city lights, broken colors floating through the night. The bridges stand like silent men, watching the same old story begin again. A taxi disappears around the bend, carrying someone toward a place they call home. But some people have nowhere to be, so they walk until the darkness sets them free. The guitar plays soft beside the rain, every band carrying a little pain. The saxophone rises deep and slow, asking where all the lost hearts go. The city never sleeps, it breathes all night through smoky windows.
candles and neon light. The guitar bends, the saxophone cries, while lonely dreams disappear into the skies. The city never sleeps, it knows your name, knows every heart that has carried pain. From the midnight bar to the morning street, the blues keep walking with every heartbeat. At 3 in the morning the streets grow still, but somewhere a piano is playing its will. A deep blue chord floats through the air, finding every lonely soul hiding there. The saxophone starts another conversation, a long, slow cry without explanation. The guitar responds with a dirty tone, like two old friends refusing to be alone. The bass moves low beneath the floor, while rain keeps tapping against the door. Nobody talks, but everybody knows the language of these midnight blues. I walk beneath the streetlights alone, listening to the city through every stone. A siren fades somewhere far away, while the first birds wait for the coming day. I pass the places where we used to meet, old memories sleeping beneath my feet. The city hasn't changed, but I have somehow. I carry fewer ghosts than I did before. The saxophone follows me through my mind, a lonely melody, warm and kind. The guitar keeps bending behind the sound, until the darkness starts breaking down. Maybe the city never sleeps.